Canelo Alvarez's next fight won't be till 2021. Hmm. What is up, you guys? Fiend Miggs here, coming at you with a new video. Thanks for taking the time to stop by and check it out. As always, if you're here for the first time, welcome to my channel. If you're coming back, welcome back, and thank you for coming back. So, can it be Canelo Alvarez's next fight won't be till 2021? That's what it's beginning to look like, according to this article that I have here to my left on my laptop. According to what this article says, which I'm going to pull it up here momentarily and you'll see it on your screen here, I'm going to read a quick clip of it. DAZN holding up plans for Canelo Alvarez's next fight. All right, or fight, I should say. Canelo Alvarez's plans to fight on September 12th could be scuttled if he and DAZN do not come to terms on their next fight, according to his lawyer. Promoter Eddie Hearn has said WBA super middleweight champion Callum Smith is the leading contender to face Alvarez in the fall. However, multiple sources told ESPN that DAZN is asking for a steep discount from Alvarez for this particular fight, which is keeping the matchup from being finalized. All right, so a couple of things going on here. Canelo Alvarez being a little bit of a diva, maybe, not wanting to take a pay cut for this fight. Callum Smith is the number one super middleweight in the world, right? We can all agree on that. Not only is he the WBA super middleweight champion, he's the Ring Magazine champion, and he won those at the Super Boxing Series or Super Series, the what is it called, the Super Series Classic. So he's he's the number one guy at 168. Canelo Alvarez fighting him is kind of a big deal. Now, Smith is not a superstar by any stretch, but he's the number one guy at super middleweight. So that fight is hot shit. I want to see that. I want to see Canelo fight the top guys at whatever division he's in. And if he's at super middleweight, that's the motherfucker. I want to see Canelo fight the best super middleweights in the world. And that means Benavidez. That means Plant. That means Callum Smith. And according to what Eddie Hearn is saying, Callum Smith is the leading candidate. Now, because this is a pretty big fight, understandably, Canelo wants to get paid what the contract says, what the DAZN contract, that they're trying to get DAZN to honor that obligation. DAZN is trying to ask for a discount, pretty much. They're not going to have fans in the arena, right? They're not going to have a crowd, so there's going to be no gate. So Canelo's going to most likely have to take the pay cut anyway. Now, that's not to say that Callum probably won't have to take a pay cut either, because Callum's not going to get any of the gate money either, because there won't be a gate money. So this has happened before. This is, I think, was going on through the Triple G and Canelo negotiations. There has been another fighter who has been offered a fight, Quigley, if I'm not mistaken. Let me make sure to get his name correct, because why? Yeah, when I said Quigley, I said, who the fuck? Jason Quigley. Jason Quigley is a number 14 ranked, number 14th by the WBC. He has less than 20 fights. He's an Irish guy. Well, I had to Google him. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? But he's got a decent record, right? He's a no-name, right? He was offered the fight, and last I read, he accepted the fight. I believe they're just waiting on Canelo's side and Golden Boy to seal the deal. If that's the case, I suspect that the fight actually will happen in September. Canelo fighting Quigley accomplishes a couple of things here. And this is my take on this, of course. So, none of this is fact. It's just my opinion, of course, which is kind of the point of this channel. But this is my take on this. Canelo fights Quigley in September. It's a keep me busy fight, right? His last fight was last year against Kovalev, almost a year. So by the time the September fight comes around, it'll be almost a year. So this fight keeps him busy, number one. Number two, he's not fighting a top caliber guy like Callum. So maybe he's more willing to take the pay cut if he's not fighting a top guy, right? He'll be totally okay with not having any fans in the crowd, right? Because, we're not like people are going to fucking brum mush the arena to see Jason Quigley, right? They're not. So I suspect if the fight with Quigley goes down, it's going to happen in September. However, if that doesn't happen, and we DAZN, Eddie Hearn insist on it being Callum Smith, I suspect that this fight with Callum Smith won't happen until Cinco de Mayo weekend 2021. I feel at least. Um, I think that the only way that Canelo fights, in September is if he fights Jason Quigley and accepts the pay cut because Quigley is not a high caliber opponent, not a big name. They won't need fans in the fucking arena. He's totally okay with taking a pay cut then. Um, Not the same case, of course, with fucking Callum. Now, Canelo's first fight with DAZN was in December of 2018, and his fight last year with Kovalev was in November of 2019. So none of those are the traditional September or May fights that we're accustomed to with Canelo. So maybe there's a chance that the fight happens before the end of the year. I'm talking about Canelo and Callum, and it doesn't happen in September, but maybe November. Now, keep in mind that those dates that I mentioned, December 2018 and November of 2019, there wasn't a pandemic going on, right? So it would have been easier to get those fights done on a non-traditional September or May date. That's not the case now. So, I mean, it's unfortunate. I'm a Canelo fan. I am. I'm of Mexican descent. I'm proud that Canelo is the face of boxing. The Mexican boxer is the face of boxing. He's the cash cow of boxing. He makes a shit ton of money, right, according to this DAZN contract. So I'm proud, and I'm a fan of his. I'll admit it, I'm a fan of his. But I don't always agree with some of the decisions that he makes. Going up to 175, I didn't think was a good idea. I understood he kind of went out after Kovalev, which is kind of, a wounded tiger by that point. The quick turnaround, 90 days or whatever. I understand that perspective and that point of view, which is why he did it. I didn't want him going to 175. Of course, that didn't last long, right? One fight, and then he came back down to 168. A couple of other things I don't necessarily agree with, but what the fuck else am I going to do? Of course, I'm going to support him. I don't like his decisions. I don't like the fight with Quigley. 100%, I don't like that shit. I understand tune-up fights. I get it. That's probably what the fuck this is. If you want to call it a tune-up fight, a keep me busy fight, we're gonna call it a coronavirus fight because that's pretty much what's going on here. These fights going on with Navarrete, these other fights we're seeing on ESPN Plus or ESPN with Bob Arum and Top Rank and those fighters, Navarrete, guys like fucking Stevenson. These guys are fighting basically to stay busy, right? They're not exactly fighting top-notch guys yet. They're just doing it to stay busy. And right now, keeping busy will benefit Canelo. And we're talking about a tune-up also and Quigley here. So if by some fucking miracle Quigley actually beats, well, for starters, if the fight even happens, but if they were to fight and it happens in September and Quigley ends up fucking beating Canelo, um, you know, of course Quigley's gonna accept this fight, right? Of course he is. The same way Chris Algieri accepted the fight with fucking Manny Pacquiao or Jeff Horn with Manny Pacquiao. Of course they are. They're gonna have a chance to fight the cash cow. It's gonna be their biggest payday to date, or in their career. Of course they're gonna accept it, right? We know that. So if that fight happens and he ends up beating Canelo, what's going to happen? An immediate rematch, most likely, right? We're going to have a scenario like Andy Ruiz and AJ, where he's going to make substantially more in the rematch because he's going to have a little bit more leverage. That's a risk worth taking. That's the risk of that fight with Canelo. It's taking that ass whooping, or maybe finding a way to win and getting the fucking rematch, and possibly a bigger payday. That's it's a win-win for Quigley. I understand if he takes it, even if he has under 20 fights, but I cannot agree with this fight. I don't want to see Quigley. When I saw that, I was like, who? I had to Google. I'm a fan. I try to keep up with who's who in the weight divisions, right? And I read that shit. I was like, fuck, I gotta Google this guy. But of course, I had to do my research, right? I don't agree with it, but I understand what it's attempting to accomplish. Keeping Canelo busy, possibly taking the pay cut and being okay with it because they're not fighting a high caliber opponent, and because they're not fighting a high caliber opponent, it's less of a risk. So it's a keeping busy fight. It's a coronavirus fight, right? It's a pandemic fight. Um, I don't think Canelo is willing to take that pay cut. I don't think, at least. I suspect that he's going to hold out until Cinco de Mayo weekend, May 2021, where he's going to be able to fight Callum Smith. I think by that point, DAZN will be able to honor that obligation of the contract and not request a pay cut. Maybe by May we'll be able to have some number of fans in the arena or the stadium. If it happens here in Las Vegas, we have Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders are going to play. Bob Barham has mentioned a few times having a couple of thousand people in there, spread out, of course, for the the Lomachenko and Teofimo fight, which, by the way, is also postponed. I'll leave a link to one of my videos that I did on this, but they're kind of on that same page. They're trying to stall. They're trying to hold off until it's okay to have fans in the arena. They want a gate. I get it. They don't want to take a pay cut. They're probably going to have to take a pay cut anyway because they're going to have less fighters, or I'm sorry, less fans in the arena or the stadium anyway. It's not going to be as steep of a pay cut, but it's going to be one regardless. I suspect that Canelo is probably trying to do the same thing, because I don't think he's going to want to take that pay cut and fight Callum in an empty arena, or in some fucking the bubble or wherever the shit they plan to do it. But anyway. Let me know what you guys think. That's my take on it. I understand that maybe not everyone will agree with me, but by all means, let me know what you guys think. If you agree with me, disagree with me, who do you think he will fight? Will he fight by the end of the year? Canelo, I'm talking about. Is he going to fighting Callum, or is he going to fighting Quigley? Will it happen in Cinco de Mayo weekend 2021? Please let me know, guys. I'm always interested in what you guys have to say. Oh, and if you guys are wondering about my t-shirt, yes, it is indeed a Fresh Clean Tees t-shirt. If you feel like checking them out, check out the link in the description below, or use my code MIGGS15 at checkout and get a 15% off your total purchase. How about that shit? How about that? How about that? Ain't that some shit? Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening to me ramble for a couple of moments on this topic here that was on my mind. Again, let me know what you guys think. I'm always interested in what you guys have to say. I'll try to post this as soon as I possibly can. I hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure to check me out on fightnetradio.com, of course, and then on YouTube here also, and Instagram at Fiend Miggs. Thank you guys for watching one more time. Have yourselves a very, very good night, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.